G'day mateys, it is the Down Under Gamer here, and I am back with another random replay, this time for Relic and THQ's Company of Heroes 2. So it is a little bit of an older game now, but it's still a great tactical World War II strategy game. So today I am going to just jump into a random multiplayer game and see how we go. So I am going to play as the Americans. So I think the Americans are probably one of the most versatile, armies in the particular game. For those of you that are familiar with Company of Heroes 2, just purely because of the ability that they have with their major. So obviously, once you deploy the major, you can just move him around the battlefield. If obviously if the front line advances, then you can move him up so that if you need to fall your troops back, they fall back and they're a lot closer to the front line, so it doesn't take so long to get back up there and plug the gaps and keep pushing. And obviously, if the front line's collapsing and you need to fall back, then you can obviously move the major and get him out of there, and then obviously retreat your troops back. So just purely for that reason, I find the US forces to be a lot more flexible. Plus, they've also, they've got a good assortment of infantry and armored units and abilities and all that sort of good stuff as well. So I am going to attempt to do a 3v3 or a 4v4. So these are just going to be completely random players off the internet. If you do play Company of Heroes, guys, look me up. My handle is Stalin's Elite. So feel free to add me if you want to come and do some Company of Heroes with me. But apart from that, guys, as always, if you want to see more Company of Heroes on the channel, and if you just like what we're doing here on the channel in general, smash that subscribe button, drop this video a like, and leave your thoughts, tips, tricks, all that sort of good stuff down in the comment section below. So let's start looking for a game. Now, it has been some time since I have played this, so hopefully I don't suck too badly. It is what it is. Normally I'm not too bad at this when I get into the swing of things. Obviously every player in this has got their own technique and own way of playing the game. Some of you might not agree with what I'm doing. And it kind of depends on the game and who I'm playing against, what the opponents are like. If the opponents aren't pressing too hard, then maybe I take a little bit of time, do a bit of turtling, build up my forces a bit more, dig in and entrench in certain areas. However, obviously, if there's the enemy's pressing hard, then obviously I need to react as quickly as possible. So that said, we will see what happens. Now, I have just installed this on my new external drive. I don't know what the performance is going to be like for this game once it gets into a 3v3 or a 4v4. So the graphics and physics settings and all that sort of stuff are on pretty minimal. So it's probably not going to do too much justice to the game. But that said, we'll see how this one goes. Obviously, if she runs pretty smooth, then maybe for future replays and gameplay sessions, we will look at putting the settings back up a little bit. But it looks like we have what do we got? 2, 4, 6, 8 players. So it's just a matter of seeing whether we all load in and connect to each other. And nope, we did not. So back to the I guess the drawing board again. So I have a 5 vs 5 level, or I'm ranked 5th in 4 vs 4 auto matches with the US. I've got all the 5 factions. So I've got OKW, I've got the standard Wehrmacht, I've got the Soviets, obviously, which is all part of the base game, and I have the British forces as well. So I find the British forces are very much like the British were in the original Company of Heroes. They take a little bit of time to get set up, but once they're set up, they're very powerful, they're very dangerous, very difficult to dig out of an entrenched position. you know, OKW, you know, good faction, good tanks, of course, being Germany. But again, takes a little while to sort of get set up and get entrenched. But once they are, and once they've got like a solid foothold, they're pretty hard to overcome, especially in the hands of decent players. And the same as the Wehrmacht. So the Soviets are interesting. Obviously, they've got the conscript units, depending on which general doctrine you go. You know, you get some interesting perks and upgrades for your conscript units, so they can either just be simple fodder, or they can actually turn into quite deadly units, especially if you upgrade them with you know, tank hunter abilities or assault abilities with the PPSH and all that sort of good stuff. So. Two, four, six, eight again, and we are in business. Awesome. Oh, Red Ball Express. So this was a map that was recreated for COH2 by obviously Zupa Duper Dude and Senseo 1990. It was an original Company of Heroes map made by Yojimbo 252, which was obviously based on the mission. So this is going to be an interesting one. We've got 2 OKW, 2 Wehrmacht against 3 Americans and 1 Russian. So the Americans, obviously, until they get their first like officer out, we can't actually build MG. So it's basically rifles and da 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 da. I guess that depends on what doctrine we choose as well. So hopefully everybody loads in, no dramas. Uranium looks like he's taking a little bit of time. What perks has this guy got? So Panther, command tanks, 5%, movement, walking Stukas. Okay, so that's interesting, because if you look at these guys and what sort of perks they have in place, it kind of give you a good idea of what sort of builds they'll go for. So Panthers, increased movement, pack 40 guns, 2% armor penetration. Okay, so that's more of like maybe a bit of a defensive build. Panzers gain, vehicle rotation, so he's a mortar guy, an MG guy, that's all very standard. Alright, so where am I? I'm on this flank here, so let's spam out some riflemen. So we'll get this guy, we'll get him into this building here. So that way it will deny the enemy from having the ability to put anything in there. So we need to do Pathfinders. Let's go with this one. That way we get the Pershing, so we can put some.
Now equipped to lay mines, sandbags, and build fighting positions. Knock it off and listen up.
So obviously, if you're unfamiliar with this game, obviously if you see the little green dots down the ground, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but if you see the little green dots on the ground there, that means there's strong cover. Obviously the yellow dots mean there's medium cover. Obviously red dots and white dots mean there's absolutely no cover. So these guys are already going for the fuel. I can tell because I can see this one flashing red.
Squad waiting for orders.
And we are in trouble on this flank. Big trouble. So what we'll do is we'll try and flank around, get that MG. Looks like these guys are already doing that. Beautiful. At least we've neutralized that point, so that'll sort of set them back a little bit. Come on, I need another 5 fuel so I can get my lieutenant out. Oh, no. Lieutenant. Yep.
Lieutenant reporting in for duty.
Alright, let's get these guys out of here. Beautiful, we've got an MG ability. Okay, so we'll get that heavy weapons out of there. Get these guys up. We had a bit of munitions now, so let's open the weapons rack.
Heavy machine gun team, ready for orders.
Find cover inside! Go ahead. We're ready.
Okay. It was only a matter of time.
Now open.
Outside, hurry! Get ready! Move, goddammit!
Get these guys out of there.
Orders!
You see who built some of them crowd trucks?
Russian just came through. He's bleeding to death.
Let's get everyone inside. Come on, chicken let me.
Get in! Cover your sector! Squad, get ready! I need help! Secure and hold that damn position! Move! Get to that point!
Actually, we don't want to go that way. That's going to be problematic because of that bunker.
Rush those assholes!
Is there a way around it though?
Target secure.
Keep your head down.
Steady up. Get that LMG up front and center. Get moving! Crew ready. We're on the hook over here!
Heavy truck, ready for orders.
Orders incoming! Move, goddammit! Area secured!
Alright, let's get out of there.
Harry, pull back! Alright, by the book. Let's fall back.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points. Boys, you ready to roll out? You guys know what to do.
Alright, let's get a captain out. So we've got enough BARs and whatnot on the ground. So what we'll do is we'll start equipping our guys with bazookas, because it shouldn't be too long until these guys start putting out at least armored cars, if not tanks.
Eyes on me. Hold them on the flank. Men are ready. Reinforcements in. Get that. Christmas comes early, boys. Stick with me. Might just be. Troops standing by.
Captain just took the battlefield.
And there's our captain. Let's upgrade him with a bazooka. And let's get the rest of our guys moving forward.
Commanders, be advised. Ability now ready.
So that's good. That's very handy having those Russian heavy mortars up here.
Pull out of there! Blood! Get out of there! Move it! Men are ready. You know what to do. Shake it out. We're loosen up, fellas. Point man out. Let's move.
So what do we need the most? Probably... So making plenty of fuel, so probably build a munitions cache with him. Yeah, like I thought. See if we can get his flank and rear. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Everyone focus on the armor.
Let's get him out. Alright, get him out of there. They're going to storm me.
We're losing a capture point.
Listen up. Here's the deal.
is under attack.
Alright, let's get this major in the field.
We lost a gun crew.
There should be... Is it that building there? Yeah, I probably don't want to go there. This one here. And I'll put my MG up there. Once I've got this major in the field, I'll pull my ambulance up behind here. I'll put the MG in there to cover. The major can sit behind here. That'll be a fallback point. And then obviously we'll start pumping out armor as soon as we've got the ability. At the moment we will have to rely on the grunts though. Yeah, like I thought, we've got walking Stukas coming through the middle. Maybe I'll bring my infantry here, help out a little bit.
Battalion just released a major for action.
Alright, let's pull back. So I get this guy, where's that building? Here. Let's get our major up here. Get this guy up here as well. And before we advance, we'll make sure we're all set up with fallback position.
One of our capture points. Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out.
Promotion just came in. Fall back! Fall back! Are you serious? Now? Boy, we just got promoted!
Oh, that's perfect, perfect.
Rifle squad ready for action.
Knock it off and listen up. Oh, yeah, baby. Take everything we know.
Alright, so they're obviously starting to pump the tanks out in, en masse now.
Stick with me.
So one of our guys
Roger
drops.
that.
It's not
New
good.
unit ready and on the
Alright,
field.
let's start getting some rangers into the fray.
Grab that position. Watch your spacing. Follow me. Pay attention this way. Bazooka team.
All sectors, ability now ready.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Get out, get out, get out.
We just lost a unit.
Damn it.
Acknowledged. combat unit ready for action.
Orders! One of you, secure that bazooka. On the move. Grab your gear. Stand by. Orders. Change of plans.
Alright, let's get out Jackson.
Listen up. Listen up. What the hell am I meant to do with these? Stand by. Orders. Grab your shit. Follow me. We're moving through Kraut line. Defensive fire on.
definitely a very tough fight, this one.
Stand by. Orders. Change plans.
Can I get another tank in the fields? Maybe a Sherman, that'll probably do the job.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
Looks like we're getting into the excitement. Get that 50 cal mounted. Move us out. Now we're cooking with gas. Can't ever get cool enough in the desert. Crew ready. Driver forward. Under fire! Gun mounted! Target destroyed! Check fire! Hit it! Go, go, go! They're going on the flank! Ah!
A medium tank was just lost.
Enemy contact! Get over there! Under fire! Contact! Germany premonition!
We've dropped to 100 points.
Enemy contact! Squad is pinned down!
Understood. We got a new unit ready and on the field.
Grab that bazooka! Alright, man. Let's move out. Move! Get to that position! Change of plan! Contact! Get down! Get him moving! Watch your fire! Watch my flash! Put everything on the lead element! Who's got eyes on the shooter?
We're getting the hell beat out of us. We got 75 points remaining.
Cover the advance! Secure that ground!
Get out, get out, get out.
We're bleeding points like a stuffed pig. We're down to 50.
Stand by. Orders. Hey, listen up. Listen up. You guys know what to do. What? Yeah, gather round. Change of plan. Squad is back to full strength. Squad is back to full strength. We're gonna be behind enemy lines, so defensive fire. Men are ready for action inside. Have the men cover off on those windows. Contact! Get down! Contact! Right the ass!
Gun crew just got wiped out.
Shit! Agitation! Complete! What's next? Lead on 'em!
dropping smoke.
Target destroyed! Get ready! He's murdering us!
We've fallen to 25 points.
Enemy tank is cutting us off! Get moving! Come on! Get ready! Get back to the CP! Get back to the CP! Hail promotion! Target destroyed! Get fire!
We just lost a unit.
Where's that coming from?
Ready. Send orders.
Damn.
WPM-1. Roger that. New unit ready and on the field.
Orders! One of you, secure that bazooka. 20 men out. Let's move. Change of plans. Back to full strength. Listen up. Square the troops away. We're moving.
Light vehicle just got destroyed.
Break contact! Break contact!
And they've got this one. But it was a nice, good, tough fight, so it's always good to see. You know, started counter-attacking and pushing the centre. Almost had that side flank, just not quite enough.
Stand by. Orders. Men, eyes on. Secure that bazooka.
And that's it. So either way, that was unfortunate, guys.
Enemy
We
forces
got
just
beaten.
won the battle.
It is what it is. So yeah, like I said, guys, if you want to see more Company of Heroes, hopefully a better result than that one next time, then let me know in the comment section below, and drop this video a like, subscribe to the channel, all that sort of good stuff. And like I said, my handle is Stalin's Elite, so feel free to look me up on Steam if you want to join in some Company of Heroes gameplay with me. Apart from that, this is the Down Under Gamer signing off. I hope you, thank you all for watching. Hope you're all having an awesome day. Cheers.